So this is the second day of 2-4. Yes? Yesterday we did parallel lines. The key point of parallel lines is they always have the same what? Slope. Yes? So parallel lines always have the same slope. Once you found the slope, you plugged it in, found B, you were done. Yeah, stop trying to do more. Okay, so now we're going to talk about perpendicular lines. So perpendicular lines meet at a right angle. So what should both of our pictures have at the intersections? How do I know it's a right angle? The little box, right? The little square. So on your pictures, put a little square. Actually, I'm going to cheat. Oh, that didn't work. You guys are drawing your square. I'm trying to cheat. Still didn't work. Okay, so we know they're perpendicular. They meet at a right angle. So some things have to happen. What has to happen is their slopes can't be the same, can they? No. Nope. One of these slopes is negative because it comes down, and the other one is what? Positive. So one has to be negative, one has to be positive, and particularly they have to be reciprocals of each other. Okay? So if I said negative 1/4, what's the reciprocal of negative 1/4? 4/1. And the negative of it would be a positive, because one has to be positive, one has to be what? Negative. So if I gave you 7/9, negative what? 9/7. See that? So parallel had to be exactly the same, right? Perpendicular doesn't have to be exactly the same. So what perpendicular have to be is two non-vertical lines are perpendicular if and only if the product, what's product mean? Multiplication of their slopes is -1. Okay, so let's check out this, what I have here. So remember, I can reduce up and down and diagonally, correct? Yeah? So 4 goes into 4 one time each. Yeah. So what's -1 times 1? 1. And what's 1 times 1? 1. Oops, I forgot negative, right? And so I get what? -1. Okay, so 9 and 9 reduce to 1, don't they? And 7 and 7 reduce to 1. And I have a negative, so is my answer going to be -1? Yep. Yeah. So lines with those two slopes, would they be perpendicular? Yes. Did I mention anything about their y-intercept? Nope. I only mentioned their what? Slope. Now we're still going to have to find y-intercepts today, but the main key is the what? Slope. I heard somebody. Okay. So in other words, the meaning of the product of the slopes is -1 is meaning the two slopes are negative. So that means one positive, one what? Negative, or one positive, one negative, one positive, right? Reciprocals of each other. So reciprocal, negative reciprocals of each other. Okay, so that's what that means. So you're going to identify the old slope, and you're going to find the new slope, and then you're going to do exactly what you did all day yesterday. So down here it says, what kind of lines do I have on this picture? There's two kinds of line. No, I don't have it. They're right here. What kind of line is this?
Vertical.
Vertical. What kind of line is this?
You mean those ones.
What is this one? Horizontal. So vertical and horizontal lines are always what? Perpendicular. So that's what your new blanks are. Vertical and horizontal lines are perpendicular. Now, I just said they have to be opposite reciprocals of each other, correct? Okay, well, the slope of P, well, let's see, rise. It's rising like a million, right? Like it's going up. So let's say rise 10. How far is it going left or right?
0.
0. Can I divide by 0?
No.
Nope. So that's undefined, isn't it? Okay. Well, this slope, it's rising how much? 0. But it's running, let's say 10. And that is what? 0. So, but do I have the reciprocals of each other? Yeah. You just can't have a negative of 0, can you? Can you have a negative of 0? So the reciprocal of undefined is 0. What's the reciprocal of 0? Undefined. Because I can have 0 over 10. There's 11 of you in here. If I have no candy, how much do you all get? 0, right? But if I have this pen and I say, I have one thing, right? And I say divide it 0 ways. I can't because I still have a pen, correct? So can I divide by 0? No, that's why it's undefined. Okay, so there's all the writing of the stuff. Now we're going to have some pictures, and we're going to decide whether these lines are perpendicular. So I have K and J, H and L, K and M. So what do I need to find of all of these lines? They're what? Slope. So I'm going to need to count them, correct? So let's find some good points. So let's say K is here. And where's another good point? Does it hit the y-axis at 4?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have M of K equals, actually then I'm going to have M of what? J. And then M of, I'm just writing all these down. H and M of what? L. And then M of K. Ooh, but we don't have to do that one twice because we're already going to have it, right? Awesome. And M of M. Did you guys know they're not M and M's? They're M of M's.
What are you talking about?
Wait.
M and M's. I'm making a joke. It's a math joke.
I just realized.
Okay, anyway. So these are all the things we're going to have to find, right? I just wrote them down. I know my plan. Okay, so let's count K, and I'll count K. We better get the same thing, right? 1, 2, 3. Do you get 2/3?
Yeah.
Okay. So count J. Find the slope of J. Gotta find 2 good points, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
I like this one and this one.
Wait, for which one?
For J.
So it's 3 2.
I got -3, 2. Did you get -3, 2?
Yep.
Which one do you go first? You do your Y's first.
Wouldn't that be perpendicular?
Why would that be perpendicular, Cooper?
Because they're reciprocals.
Okay, so I'm going to do my math and show myself, yes? So 2/3 times -3/2, and when I multiply them, it has to equal what?
-1.
-1. So the 2's reduce, yes? I have a negative. The 3's reduce. So 1 times 1 times 1 divided by 1 is all just what?
1.
And it's a
Negative.
negative. So the answer is yes. Brian, please take your hood off and quit messing with it. Focus on what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so now H. Gotta do H. H is a little harder, guys. Let's see. We need good points. I think right here at 1, -3. And I think the other one's going to be after like 4, -5.
2/3.
It's not -2.
Or -1, -3.
It's just off.
Yeah, I think it's going to hit at 4, -5, don't you? Okay. What do you mean? I'm looking for good points that it crosses the grid. So here's H.
Right.
So I can see that it hits.
Oh.
It hits right here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I was counting.
And then it hits like right here.
Right.
It's going to hit right there.
I was counting.
Oh, okay. And then.
All five over two.
I get negative 2/3. Anybody else?
Yep.
Okay. So then we need to get L, right? L might not be as hard. Ooh, I can use one of the same points I used for H, can't I?
It's 5 2. What is this? Did you say half?
Okay, so I got
Oh, sorry. No,
I got 5 over 2. Did you guys get 5 over 2?
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do my product, right? So my 2's reduce. But I have negative 5 over 3, which is not equal to what did they have to be?
1.
Negative 1. So the answer is what? No. Okay, so do K then too. We already have K, don't we? Don't recount K. We had K on the first one. Find M real quick, I guess.
Easy.
Did you guys get a negative 4? Over 1? Okay, so we already know the answer is going to be no, but we got to prove it to everybody, right? So 2/3 times negative 4, and I can put that over 1, correct? And 3 and 4 do not reduce, so I just have negative 8/3, which is definitely not what? Negative 1, so the answer is
No.
no. Okay, so I just wanted us to get used to that, so we got our slopes. So now your worksheet is going to be write the perpendicular, write the perpendicular, write the perpendicular. So we have 2 examples, and this is the only thing different from yesterday that you did. Okay, so it says write the perpendicular of this line going through this point, yes? So I need a slope. So the first thing I'm going to say is, what is my old slope? What's my old slope right here?
1 over 2.
Okay, so old slope is 1 over 2. So the new slope that I'm going to use, this 1 over 2 is positive, so my new one has to be what? Negative. And then the reciprocal of 1 over 2 is 2 over 1. So now that I have my new slope and I have a point, I just plug it into y equals mx plus b to find b, don't I? So y is 1 equals, what's my new slope?
Negative 2 over 1
Or just negative 2, right?
times
X plus b. So 1 equals negative 8 plus b. So b is
8. What? 8 plus 8 times.
b is 9.
Easy.
Okay, so I have 9 and my new slope, so I write it into y equals mx plus b, correct? My new m is negative 2x, and my b is 9. So when I grade these, I'm not looking for just one answer, I'm looking for what? 1, 2, 3.
How do you get the new slope again?
Okay, so the old slope was negative 1/2. Positive 1/2. So it's positive, so my new one has to be negative. And the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again. So my old slope is what?
3/4.
Okay, so old m is 3/4. So new Okay, the old one was positive, so the new one is going to be negative. If the old one was negative, the new one would be positive. And the reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. So then I have a new slope, and I have a point. So I just plug in, right? So I get 2 equals negative 4/3 times 12, and that's over 1, right? Plus b. Guys, simplify before you multiply. Got me?
Yeah.
Does 3 go into 12?
Yes.
How many times? 4. So I get 1 over 1 on the denominator, so it's going to be a whole number, yes? Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16 plus b. So b is what?
18.
18. How is b 18?
Add 16.
You add 16. So I have b, and I have my new slope. So now what do I do?
Put it back in.
Y equals
Negative 4/3.
x
Plus 18.
plus 18. Are you going to have a fraction in every single problem?
No. Yes.
Pretty much. You're going to have to deal with a fraction, at least in your work, correct? Hey, so first thing I want you to do is when you go to your worksheet today, you can do your XY if you want. I want everybody, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. There's 10 problems. It's 5 minutes to find your new slopes long enough. Just to find the slope. Yes? Okay, so I don't want you to do any work but find your slope on all 10 problems on the back of your worksheet. And then after you find your slope, I want you to lay your head down and we're going to make sure we have the correct slopes before we move on. Got me?
Yeah.
Go. Hopefully we don't